Hi, everyone. It's Nikolai from the Financial Commission. I'm here today to talk to you about our monthly complaints digest, where we talk about some of our key metrics from the previous month and talk about what's going on in the FX and CFD industry from our perspective. Below this YouTube video in the description, you'll find a link to the July 2020 monthly complaints digest report that we published last week. So if you'd like to click on that link to open the report on your device so you can follow along. Today I want to talk to you about sort of the slowdown that we experience in the FX and CFD industry really on an annual basis. Over the summer months, there's a lot of people, take vacations, a lot of people are outside, and might not necessarily be either interested in trading or just want to get away. I think this year things are exacerbated by the fact that the COVID-19 pandemic happened around the world. And as I reported in our earlier videos, we saw a significant increase in trader activity and market activity starting in March of this year, which has since subsided significantly. And we see that some of the international online brokerages that publish statistics, public statistics, we see that they're now experiencing a slowdown in terms of trading volumes and, the amount of traders that they have, trading or being active on their accounts, etc. And I could say that we sort of experiencing or are experiencing the same thing. And I think things are a little bit exacerbated by the fact that, there was an elevated amount of activity in March, April, May, and now that's subsided, and also the summer happened, the normal slowdown happened. So some of the data might seem, like it fell by a lot or something like that. But in the grand scheme of things, this is really a summer slowdown for us, as it is for many brokerages as well. So looking at the data, in June, we received 177 new complaints. In July, this number was 137. So that's a drop of about 22%. And in terms of the complaints that we successfully resolved in July, that could, again, be complaints that were filed perhaps in the middle or at the end of June, and then carried over into July. That number was 98 complaints as compared to 154 in June. So roughly a one-third drop there, as well. But I can tell you personally, from being involved on the operational side of our organization, we did actually have quite a few trading related complaints that we received in July that were quite difficult in terms of the amount of investigation that we needed to do, and the inquiries that we had to make with our experts from our dispute resolution committee to get feedback from them. And it's my understanding that those complaints carried over into August, hence they were not part of the July statistics. And since there were quite a few of these kind of complaints, that might have played an impact in our numbers. Now, if we take a look at the amount of money that traders sought from us or sought from their brokerages in their complaints, that is the amount of compensation that they're trying to receive for whatever happened in their situation with their broker. In July, this number was roughly $470,000. In June of 2020, it was roughly $692,000. So there was a considerable drop there as well. And again, I think with the decreased activity comes the decreased amount of traders coming to us on a daily basis asking questions or filing actual complaints against their brokerages. So there was obviously a slowdown experience there. The one thing that I wanted to point out is that the amount sought from non-members, that is the amount of compensation that traders who had traded or were doing business with brokerages that are not members of our organization, the amount of money that they sought actually increased significantly. It increased by almost 2.5 times, from roughly 62,000 in June, and that number shot all the way up to 214,000 in July. Now that really tells me that, with the summer slowdown, as traders were actively trading the markets, let's say starting in March all the way through May, and then ended up unwinding their positions, so closing their positions and earning a profit, or what have you, they're essentially now trying to withdraw the money from their account to be able to, to take advantage of the profits that they made. And it looks like a lot of customers are running into issues with that. And essentially, we're seeing an uptick in the amount of customers who are having issues with brokers that are not members of the Financial Commission. Now, can't say that these brokers are illegitimate or scams or anything like that, but we all have to keep in mind that not every Forex and CFD broker out there that has a website and is advertising and services or trying to solicit you to open an account. We can't trust everyone, and we can't say that everybody employs the best business practices and things like that. So for what it's worth, it could be the fact that a lot of people are trying to withdraw funds, and for whatever reason, they're having substantial issues with some companies that are not members of the Financial Commission. This also goes into the discussion about the different complaints categories that we have. So we have trading related complaints, financial related complaints, and non-trading complaints. Those are the three categories, which you've heard me discuss in previous videos. Now, in July, the majority of new filed complaints were actually in the financial category. About 63% of new filed complaints were related to financial matters, and about 25% were related to trading matters. Now, if we take the metric that I just spoke about in terms of how much money was sought by traders who are trading with non-members of the Financial Commission, and we take a look at other traders who are trading with Financial Commission members, we see that the majority of complaints last month was indeed related to financial matters. And again, most likely due to the fact that positions were being unwound, let's say, May, June, and for whatever reason, customers were having or are still having issues and are contacting us to help us have them, get their situation resolved. And if there's any way that we can assist, to assist the brokerage in completing their withdrawal request, we will certainly, we certainly do that. I think the most important metric to highlight from July for us is average dispute resolution times. And that's really our most important metric because it really evaluates how quickly do we accept a complaint, investigate it, determine, who's right, who's wrong, and then issue a resolution that basically satisfies both parties. And in June, not in July, but in June, our average dispute resolution time was 6.9 days, which was already very, very quick as compared to some organizations that are part of regulatory bodies around the world where customers or traders can also file disputes. But in July, this metric actually improved by 25% and fell to 5.14 days, which is very, very quick, even in our terms. So since 2013, since the Financial Commission began offering services, we have never had an average dispute resolution time, a monthly average dispute resolution time that's been so low. So roughly 5 days in the grand scheme of things in July. And again, if you compare that to some of the regulatory bodies around the world, we're talking weeks to months to be able to receive reply communications, investigations, and then ultimately be able to resolve a dispute with some of these other organizations worldwide. So I think this is a testament to how effectively and how quickly we work, even in challenging times with the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic still impacting many, many countries around the world. We continue to operate normally without any disruptions and working remotely around the world if it's necessary. So I think this is a testament to us working effectively in this sort of difficult time. Now, in terms of some of the other metrics that we look at on a monthly basis, like average complaints value, so roughly, how valuable the total amount of complaints that we received every month was. We did see a drop there as well from $5,218 to $3,314. But again, $3,314 is still substantially higher than our sort of historic average complaint values that we've seen since 2013 when we began to offer our services. So we feel quite confident in these numbers that they're not, showing any kind of negative developments. It's just such that there's a summer slowdown, and the nature of each individual complaint that we got in July was valued lower than other months. This also goes back to the fact that I mentioned previously, where there was a lot of market volatility and arguably a lot of opportunity in the market in the spring months, so March, April, May, and we saw a lot of new or novice traders join the market. So you see a lot of traders who are completely new, who never traded before, open accounts in that time frame and traded all the way through, perhaps June or even July, and now they're ready to exit the market and book profits if they made any. And essentially, with respect to the complaints value categories, we see roughly 31% of all complaints last month were in a category of $1 to $100. So kind of small valued complaints. And we see that number actually increased month over month by about 20%. So we think that perhaps there's quite a bit of novice and new traders that were trading for the last few months who have since stopped. They want to withdraw their funds, withdraw their profits, and they're having issues for one reason or another, either with a Financial Commission approved broker member or with another brokerage that is not part of our organization. And hence, we're helping these customers, with these issues and trying to resolve their situations effectively and quickly, as I said before. So these are basically our key metrics for July. Obviously, time is flying, so after August ends, we should see a new report in the first week of September, and I will be joining you again via YouTube video to talk about those. And we'll see if this summer slowdown continues, and if that elevated amount of market activity that we saw in the spring months, if it's going to basically have a statistical impact on what we see in the future going forward in 2020. So I hope you enjoyed my quick presentation. If you guys have any questions at all about what I discussed or our report, inside the description below the video, you'll find our contact email address. Please do not hesitate to send us a message, and we'll be happy to assist you. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.